Good morning everyone. This is class 12th, subject chemistry, chapter number 9, coordination compounds, lecture number 3. In this lecture, I will be discussing the isomerism in coordination compounds, and in the end, I will discuss the homework solution of lecture number 2. In the last lecture, we discussed the nomenclature of inorganic compounds. Now next topic is isomerism in coordination compounds. So first of all, we need to know what are isomers. So isomers are defined as two or more compounds that have same chemical formula, or you can say same chemical composition but have different arrangement of atoms. That is, in isomers, the chemical formula is same but the arrangement of atoms are different. And the isomerism is very common in organic compounds, whereas in inorganic compounds, coordination compounds show various types of isomerism. So in coordination compounds, mainly two types of isomerism are there: structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Structural isomerism, it is defined as that type of isomerism which arises due to the difference in the structure of coordination compounds. And in structural isomerism, there are four types: linkage isomerism, coordination isomerism, ionization isomerism, and fourth is solvate isomerism. Second type of isomerism is stereoisomerism, and in stereoisomerism there are two types: geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. So one by one we will discuss these two types of isomerism. So first we will discuss structural isomerism. Structural isomerism arises due to difference in the structure of coordination compounds. And first type is ionization isomerism. So what are ionization isomers? Compounds which give different ions in the solution although they have same composition are called ionization isomers. And this ionization isomerism arises when the counter ion in a complex salt is itself potential ligand and can displace a ligand which can then become the counter ion. So here is the example of ionization isomers. These two are ionization isomers. Now in first complex Br, that is bromide ion, is a counter ion, and in second complex sulfate ion is a counter ion. Now here this bromide ion, it can replace the sulfate which is present inside this coordination sphere. Now when we dissolve this coordination complex in solution, so it will give bromide ion and this coordination entity. Whereas in the second case, if we dissolve this complex in solution, it will give sulfate ion and this coordination entity. So here bromide is a ligand which can displace the ligand which is present inside the coordination sphere. So here bromide is exchanged by sulfate, and therefore these two are ionization isomers. Second is solvate isomerism. Now what are solvate isomerism? Compounds which have same composition but differ in the number of solvent molecules present as a ligand. That is known as solvate isomerism. So here is the example of solvate isomers. Now in first case, in coordination sphere there are 6 water molecules, and in second case there are 5 water molecules inside the coordination sphere and 1 water molecule is outside the coordination sphere. So here there is difference in number of water molecules. So solvate isomerism is compounds which have same composition but differ in the number of solvent molecules present as ligand. And when the water is used as a solvent, then they are called as hydrate isomers. So these are the examples of solvate isomerism, or you can say they are hydrate isomers of each other. Now third type of structural isomerism is linkage isomerism. So linkage isomerism arises in a coordination compound containing ambidentate ligand. Now what are ambidentate ligands? Ambidentate ligands are monodentate ligand but they have more than one donor atom. For example, NO2 negative, that is this nitro group, it can donate either from nitrogen or from oxygen. So this is the example of ambidentate ligand. So linkage isomerism arises in coordination compounds containing ambidentate ligand when more than one atom in a unidentate ligand may function as a donor. So here is the example of linkage isomers. These two are linkage isomers of each other. Now in first complex, this NO2 group, it is donating from nitrogen side. But in the second complex, the group is same, but in this case it is donating from oxygen side. So now in these two complexes, the linkage is different. That is, in first complex the linkage is from nitrogen side, and in second complex the linkage is from oxygen side. So these two are linkage isomers of each other. So linkage isomerism arises in those coordination compounds containing ambidentate ligand when more than one atom in a unidentate ligand may function as a donor. So this is the example of linkage isomers. Now fourth type is coordination isomerism. Coordination isomerism, this type of isomerism arises from the interchange of ligands between the cationic and anionic entities of different metal ions present in a complex. Now here is the example of coordination isomers. So we have two entities, that is cationic and anionic, and there are two metal ions, that is cobalt and chromium. Now in first case, 6 ammonia molecules are attached with cobalt and 6 cyanide ions are attached with chromium. Now coordination isomerism is when there is interchange of ligands between cationic and anionic entities. Now here is the next structure. Now here chromium ion is attached with 6 ammonia molecules and 6 cyanide ions are attached with cobalt. So here is interchange of ligands between two cationic and anionic entities. So coordination isomerism arises from the interchange of ligands between the cationic and anionic entities of different metal ions present in a complex. So this is the example of coordination isomerism. So in structural isomerism we have four types: ionization isomers, hydrate isomers or solvate isomers, linkage isomers or linkage isomerism, and fourth is coordination isomerism. Now next is stereoisomerism. So next is stereoisomerism. So stereoisomerism is defined as they have the same chemical formula and chemical bonds, but they have different spatial arrangement. That is, in stereoisomerism, in the compounds the ligands are arranged in a space in specific orientation around a given metal ion, or you can say that there is different arrangement of atoms in 3 dimension. Now in stereoisomerism we have two types: geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. So first is geometrical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism, this type of isomerism occurs in heteroleptic complex due to different possible geometric arrangement of ligands. Now what are heteroleptic complex? Heteroleptic complexes are those in which we have more than one type of donor atoms. So geometrical isomerism takes place in heteroleptic complexes due to different possible geometric arrangement of ligands. And in geometrical isomerism we have two types: cis isomerism and trans isomerism. And geometrical isomerism is not possible in tetrahedral complexes because all the 4 positions are equivalent in tetrahedral complexes. Now this is tetrahedral complexes. These two bonds are in plane. One is below the plane and one is above the plane. So these two bonds are in the plane. This bond is above the plane and the fourth one, represented by dotted lines, it is below the plane. Now with respect to this metal atom, these 4 positions are equivalent, and that is why geometrical isomerism does not exist in tetrahedral complexes, whereas geometrical isomers are found in square planar and octahedral complexes. So first we will discuss the geometrical isomerism in square planar complexes. In square planar complexes, coordination number is 4. That is, 4 ligands are directly attached to the central metal atom. So this is square planar. Now first case is when we have Ma2B2 type of complexes, where here M is central metal atom, A and B are two different types of ligand. Example is complex of platinum, NH3 twice, Cl2. So here two ammonia molecules and two chloride ions are directly attached with platinum, and this is the square planar complex of platinum. Now this is the arrangement of ligands around central metal atom in square planar complexes. Now here M is central metal atom and A and B are two types of ligand. Now when A and B, they are placed at 90 degree, or when you can say that when both A type of ligands are adjacent to each other, then that position is known as cis position. So here these two B ligands and two A ligands, they are adjacent to each other, so this is cis isomer. Now when AA type, that is these two ligands are arranged opposite to each other, that is at 180 degree, then that position or that arrangement is known as trans. So here we have two types of isomerism in geometrical isomerism, cis isomers and trans isomers. In cis isomers, in this type of complex, that is Ma2B2 type, when A2, they are adjacent to each other, that is cis isomer, and when they are opposite to each other, that is known as trans isomer. So in Ma2B2 type of complex in square planar, geometrical isomerism exists, that is cis and trans isomer exist in Ma2B2 type. Now next type is Ma2BC, and the example is platinum NH3Cl Py is pyridine 2. So here we have three types of ligands A, B and C. Now in this case we can also define cis and trans with respect to A type of ligands. When these two A type of ligands are adjacent to each other, then that is known as cis, and when these two A ligands are opposite to each other, then that is known as trans. So in Ma2BC type, cis and trans isomers also exist, that is this type also exhibit geometrical isomerism. Now third type is MABCD type. Now here we have four types of ligand. M is central metal atom and A, B, C and D are four types of ligand. Now in this case we have different possibilities. So how we will draw all the possibilities? Now first possibility is in the center we will place central metal atom and here we are fixing A. Now opposite to A we are placing B, then C, then opposite to A we are placing D. So here three type of complexes. Now next case is, in second case we are fixing B on one side and then we will place C opposite to B and then D opposite to B. And the third case is, now here we are fixing C. Now we have only one possibility, that is we can place D opposite to C. Now in these complexes, these two are same, so we cannot count these two, so only one will contribute towards geometrical isomerism. Similarly, if we look at this complex, so this is similar to this complex. So here again only this one will contribute, this we will neglect, and this third complex is similar to this complex. So only this will contribute, not this complex. So here there are total 6 structures, out of which only 3 will contribute. So in MABCD type we have 3 geometrical isomers. Now with respect to AB ligand, that is if we want to know which one is cis and trans, so we will fix these two ligands, that is with respect to AB. In first complex, A and B are opposite to each other, so we can say that this is trans. And in second and third complex, A and B are at adjacent position, that is they are adjacent to each other, so these two are cis isomers. So in MABCD type we have 3 isomers, out of which 2 are cis isomer and 1 is trans isomer. Now next we will discuss geometrical isomerism in octahedral complexes. So this is the arrangement of ligand in octahedral complexes, and in octahedral complexes coordination number is 6. That is 6 ligands are directly attached to central metal atom. So in octahedral complexes first type is Ma4B2. So here M is central metal atom, A and B are two types of ligand. Example is chromium NH3,4Cl2 positive. So this cationic complex is the example of Ma4B2 type. Now how we will draw geometrical isomers in this complex? Now here we will see cis and trans with respect to B type of ligands. Here two B type of ligands are there. Now when these two B type of ligands are opposite to each other, then this is known as trans, and when these two B type of ligands are adjacent to each other, then this is known as cis. So in first B, these two B are opposite to each other, that is trans, and here in second case these two B are adjacent to each other. So in Ma4B2 type cis and trans isomers exist. Now next is MAA2B2 type. Now here AA is bidentate ligand or didentate ligand. So example is COCl2 En twice. So here again geometrical isomerism exists, that is cis and trans isomers are formed in this type of complexes. So this is trans isomers. Here two B ligands are opposite to each other, and these two are didentate ligands. Now when we place two B type of ligands are adjacent to each other, then this is known as cis. So here in this case also geometrical isomerism exists, that is cis and trans isomers exist in MAA2B2 type of complexes, where AA is bidentate ligand. Now third case is Ma3B3. Now here we have two types of isomers, that is facial and meridional. So in this case we have facial and meridional isomers. So again in this complex we have two types of ligand, that is A and B. These are attached to central metal atom, and here 6 ligands are directly attached to metal atom, and therefore coordination number is 6, and this is octahedral complex. Now here how we can draw facial and meridional isomers? Now if we place 3A on the vertex of the triangle, then that will be facial, and if we will replace one of the A by B, then that will become meridional. Now here is the facial isomers. Now this is the triangle, and at these three vertex B are placed. Now similarly we can draw triangle here also. If we join this line by this and this line to this point to this point. So here we have one triangle where 3A are placed, and here 3B are placed. Now if we will replace this A, this 1A by B, then it will become what? Meridional isomers. So this is the difference between facial and meridional isomers. So in case of Ma3B3 type we have facial and meridional isomers. An example is cobalt NH3 thrice NO2 thrice. So in this case, in this complex, facial and meridional isomers exist. Now after geometrical isomerism, second is optical isomerism. Next is optical isomerism. So first is optical isomers. Optical isomers are mirror images that cannot be superimposed one on one another, and these are called as enantiomers. For example, here is the mirror image of hand is given. Now if we superimpose these two, that is the mirror image of this hand, then these two are not superimposable. They will not superimpose on each other, and that is why they are non-superimposable mirror images, and therefore they are known as chiral objects and are optically active. Whereas in this example, if we superimpose the mirror image of this object, so it will be superimposed on each other, that is the mirror image, and that is the mirror image of this object will superimpose on this. So these type of objects are known as non-chiral objects, and they are optically inactive. So optical isomers are mirror images that cannot be superimposed on one another, and these are called as enantiomers. And the molecules or ions that cannot be superimposed are called chiral molecules or chiral ions. Now here in optical isomerism there are two forms, dextro and levo. Depending upon the direction they rotate the plane polarized light. Now what is plane polarized light? Now here we have ordinary light. Now when we pass this light through Nicol prism, so the direction of light will become in one direction, and this is known as plane polarized light. Now dextrorotatory are those which rotates the plane polarized light in right direction, and levorotatory are those which rotates this plane polarized light in left direction in polarimeter. That is, D rotates to the right direction and L rotates to the left. D is for dextro and L for levo. Now we will discuss optical isomerism in octahedral complexes. So first type is MAA3. AA is bidentate ligand and the example is cobalt En thrice 3 positive. Now first of all we will draw the structure of this complex. In the center we have central metal ion and 3 didentate ligands are placed on these 6 edges of the octahedral complex. Now we will place didentate ligands at 90 degree. These positions are 90 degree to each other. So we will place these 3 ethane 1,2-diamine ligand on these 3 positions. So this is the structure of this complex. Now if we place a mirror in front of this complex, so the mirror image of this complex is this. Now if we superimpose these two, they will not superimpose on each other, and that is why this type of complex is optically active. That is, in MAA3 type, optical isomerism exists. Now next case is MAA2B2, where A is didentate ligand and B is unidentate ligand. Example is PtCl2 En twice. Now here again the coordination number is 6 because 2 chloride ion and one didentate ligand donates from 2 sides. So here 4 sides and 2 chloride ions. So total 6 coordination number is there for this platinum. So this is octahedral complex. Coordination number is 6. Now in this case, as we have discussed in geometrical isomerism, that this complex also exhibit geometrical isomers, that is cis and trans. Now we will see whether cis and trans exhibit optical isomerism or not. So first of all we will draw the cis form of this complex. Now this is the structure of MAA2B2 type. Now if we place mirror in front of this complex, so the mirror image of this complex is this. Now if we superimpose these two on one another, they will not superimpose. That is, the mirror image is not superimposable. So cis form of this complex is optically active. Now second case is transform. Now here is the transform of MAA2B2 type. So this is the transform. Now if we place a mirror in front of this complex, so this is the mirror image of this complex. Now if we superimpose these two complexes, so they will superimpose on each other. B will superimpose on B and these two didentate ligands will also superimpose on each other. So in transform, this complex and its mirror image both are superimposable on each other. So this transform is optically inactive. That is, the mirror image is superimposable and therefore it is optically inactive. So these are the two cases in octahedral complexes in optical isomerism. Now after doing this, you can solve NCERT exercise question number 9.8, 9.9, 9.10, 11 and 12, and in text question number 9.3 and 9.4. Now I will be discussing the homework of lecture number 3. The first question is NCERT exercise question number 9.6. Using IUPAC norms, write the formulas for the following. And in question number 9.6 there are 10 parts. So these are the formulas for IUPAC nomenclature. Now next is question number 9.7. Using IUPAC norms, write the systematic names of the following. First part is, so the IUPAC name for first part is hexaamine cobalt 3 chloride. Second is, the IUPAC nomenclature for second is, so here we have three ligands, ammonia, chloride ion and methylamine. So we will name according to alphabetical order. So the IUPAC nomenclature for second part is diamine, chlorido, methylamine, platinum 2 chloride. It is oxidation number of platinum is 2. So platinum 2 chloride. Third is, the name for third is hexa-aqua titanium 3. The oxidation number of titanium is 3. Now fourth part is, again in fourth part we have three ligand in coordination entity, ammonia, chloride and nitrito. So we will name according to, we will write according to alphabetical order. So it is tetraamine, chlorido, nitrito N, cobalt. After that we will write down the oxidation number of cobalt. It is, the oxidation number is 3. And after that we will write down the counter anion, that is chloride. Fifth is, the name for fifth is hexa-aqua manganese 2. The oxidation number of manganese is 2. Now after that sixth part is NiCl4 2-. So the IUPAC nomenclature for this compound is tetrachloridonucleate, because here anionic entity is given, and whenever anionic entity is given we will add suffix 8 at the last of the central metal atom. So the name is tetrachloridonucleate and the oxidation number of nickel is 2. After that seventh is, the name for seventh is hexaamine nickel. After that we will write down the oxidation number of nickel. So in seventh part it is 2. After that we will write down the counter ion, that is chloride. Eighth part is, so here in eighth part, so this complex is given COEN thrice 3 positive. So here didentate ligand is there, ethylene diamine. So already numeral is there in this ligand, so we will use tris. So here three ligands are given, so we will write tris, ethane 1,2-diamine. After that metal ion, that is cobalt, and then oxidation number of that metal ion. So the name for eighth part is tris ethane 1,2-diamine cobalt 3. Ninth part is, the IUPAC nomenclature is tetracarbonyl nickel and the oxidation number is 0 in this case. Question number 24, write down the IUPAC nomenclature. So first part is CrCl3py3. So here two ligands are there, chloride and pyridine. So we will name according to alphabetical. So the IUPAC nomenclature for this complex is trichlorido, tripyridine, chromium, and the oxidation number of chromium is 3 in this complex. So this is the IUPAC nomenclature for this complex. Next is K4MnCN6. So first of all we will write down the cationic part. So here potassium is cationic part and the metal ion, central metal ion is present in coordination entity. So we will write potassium. Now here 6 cyanide ions are there. So we will write hexacyano. And for central metal ion we will add 8 as suffix. So the name is potassium hexacyanomagnate and oxidation number of manganese is 2. Now after that next part is CONH3 5ClCl2. So the name is, here two ligands are given, ammonia and chloride. So we will name according to alphabetical. So the name is pentaamine chlorido cobalt. After that we will write down the oxidation number of cobalt, and after that the name of counter ion, that is chloride. Now next is CsFeCl4. So the name for this compound is cesium tetrachlorido ferrate and oxidation number is +3. Now next is in-text question, question number 9.1. So formulas for the nomenclature are written here. First formula is CONH34H2O2Cl3. So here is the answer for question number 9.1. And question number 9.2 is, write the IUPAC names of the following coordination compounds. So fourth part is K3FeC2O4 thrice. So here C2O4 is oxalate. and it is a didentate ligand. So first of all we will write down the name of cationic part. So here potassium is cationic part, so it is potassium. Now there are 3 oxalate, so we will write trioxalato ferrate, and after that oxidation number of iron. So plus 3 minus 6, so the oxidation number of iron comes out to be 3. After that, sixth part is PTNH3 twice Cl NH2 CH3Cl. Now NH2CH3 is methylamine. So here 3 ligands are given in coordination entity, and we will write according to alphabetical order. So here amine, chloride, methylamine. So first of all we will write diamine, chlorido, methylamine, platinum. After that oxidation number of platinum, that is 2, and then the name for counter ion, that is chloride. So these are the questions I gave you in lecture number 3. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe this channel.